Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to Filled at Home today. I'm just here in my bedroom and getting ready for the morning, and I really wanted to chat with you guys this morning about a topic that I have been thinking about and dealing with for maybe several years now, a few years, give or take. And it's something that I think a lot of people my age, 35 and up, I'm 42, almost 43, and it's something that almost every woman I talk to my age is dealing with, and that is stubborn weight gain, the inability to lose weight like we once were able to, especially around our belly. And so I want to be here as an encouragement to you guys today about this journey that we're on in perimenopause and what we can do about it. But I want to educate you guys. I love teaching. It's my passion. I was a teacher, an art teacher actually, for over 20 years now, but my side passion is natural health, and I've dealt with a lot of health problems in my past, which sometimes I talk about that. And that's really spurred myself to really go on a journey of holistic healing. So everything that I talk about on this channel is from a faith-filled perspective and from a holistic perspective. So today we're going to talk about why our bodies are holding on to stubborn belly fat. What are the reasons? What are the three pillars really that are causing that to happen? And I'm going to give you, at the end, I'm going to talk about a simple strategy that you guys can use to really start to combat stubborn belly fat. And it's something that I've actively been dealing with. So I had a child about 6 years ago. That was my last baby that I had. And after that, it seemed like the belly fat just really was not moving. It wasn't shedding. It didn't matter how much exercise I was doing, like I had done years previously after my other children that I had. It's just been like trying to figure things out. And I've gone through tons of health things. Maybe you have too. I've gone through mold sickness. I've gone through everything and learned about all this stuff. And at the same time that I was hitting perimenopause years. So if you're 35, 40, around there, this video is for you today. Okay guys, so tell me if this is you. Are you doing kind of all the same things that you used to do? Maybe you're exercising the same way that you used to. Maybe you're eating the same way. Maybe you're eating healthier, because that's actually what's happened to me. Over the years, I have really made significant changes here and there in my life to cut back on, processed foods. I try to make most of my foods at home. That's been going on for several years, but I feel like even with all the same or even better techniques that I've been doing, nothing is working. Nothing's working. Let me know if that's you guys. Just let me know in the comments what has been your journey. But really, it all started for me around the age of 38 when I had my last child, like I said. So let me know what age you are dealing with this. And man, it's just like, it doesn't matter how good you eat, or if you try to even eat low carb, like it does not matter. Your body has changed so much. So I want to, guys, encourage you, because I know it can be so discouraging, because that's exactly what I've dealt with. I'm here to encourage you guys. Don't derive your self-worth, your worth, and your beauty from your outward appearance. Remember that the Bible says that that's not where our beauty comes from. Our beauty comes from a quiet and gentle spirit. And that's something I'm trying to remind myself of lately, because it's hard. You want to feel comfortable in your body. You want to feel comfortable, and that might mean for you losing a few pounds, or maybe not having some baby weight hanging on your belly. But listen, it's not about perfection. It's not about performance. I love that song. We just sang it in church the other day. It's never been about performance, perfection, striving for perfection, whatever. It's not about perfection. It's about you just being the best version of yourself, you getting your identity from Jesus Christ and who he says you are first, and then let everything else be just icing on the cake. of course, take care of your temple, because he gave you a temple of the Holy Spirit. So we are required by God to not to be overeating, not to be lazy, right? So we want to be good to our bodies. But man, first I wanted to lay the groundwork there for your identity, because I really feel like if we can't grasp identity in Christ, then nothing else matters. It doesn't even matter. Like, don't even think about the number on the scale, because it doesn't matter in the end. That's not who you are, okay? You are eternal. So remember that first. It's not about perfection. So you're not gonna look like maybe you did when you were 25. And I think that's something I've struggled with, is struggling with wanting my body to look like it did before I had my second child. I designed our bodies to change. He designed the change of life. He designed perimenopause and menopause. He designed all that stuff. He designed your childbearing years. So but let's not try to compare our bodies to what we used to be, you know, and that's, if you're able to look like you were at 25, kudos to you, you know, but most women are not able to. And that's because God designed our bodies to change, our hormones change. So we need to embrace our newly changing bodies. Let's take the best care we can right now, but not strive for perfection. It's not gonna look like I said when you're 25 or before you had kids. You had kids, right? You had kids. If you're like me, you had abdominal separation. And so naturally, you're not gonna look as thin as you once did. Okay, and I wanna talk about some of the reasons, and then I'm also, like I said, I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I'm doing and what I think is the best way. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just your friend here, talking to you and telling you all the things that I have done research about, the best ways to help combat the belly weight. So here's the first thing. Here's the first pillar. One of the biggest reasons for stubborn belly weight is that your hormones begin to fluctuate. So like we've talked about on other videos, lots of things change, right? Your periods start to change, everything changes, but the belly fat is a signal that your hormones are beginning to fluctuate. Remember, estrogen and progesterone, they don't just simply start declining like this. They actually go like this crazy stuff. Yes, overall they decline, and eventually when you hit menopause, your levels of progesterone, estrogen, testosterone are going to be significantly lower. And actually, I'm going to put a little graph up here that I designed, which is in my book that I have, but it's kind of just a visual. But throughout each month that you're going through perimenopause, your estrogen, progesterone levels are going to be fluctuating like crazy. And so those shifts can affect lots of things. They affect where you store your fat in your body. They affect your appetite, your energy, your sleep, all that stuff, which contributes to where your body is holding on to weight. So many women, including myself, notice that the weight is starting to settle in the midsection of your body. Okay, let me show you here. I'm not showing you everything, but yeah, your midsection, you know, you start to kind of thicken out a little bit, and it's just part of the game, guys. Okay, we can get better, we can change things, we can make changes to get rid of a lot of it. But man, the hormones, they're going crazy right now. If you haven't figured that out, how many of you guys are just like, you know, like feel like you're losing your mind or you're anxious or all these crazy things? That's the hormones. It's just the hormones. Okay, so here's number 2. Muscle loss and metabolism. Okay, so another huge factor, reason that women cannot get rid of stubborn belly fat is their metabolism because of muscle loss. So as we age, starting in our 30s, if we're not actively maintaining muscle, like if you're not lifting weights daily, and I'm talking heavy weights, not just little 10 pounders, okay? If you're not actively trying to do that on a daily basis, your muscle is not gonna be there. And listen, like, it's hard when you're in your 30s. Let's just say you have kids like me and you're in the throes of motherhood, you're taking care of little human beings. You don't have all the time in the world, or you're just trying to catch up on sleep. You're just trying to get some sleep. How are you gonna wake up early and lift weights? That's great if you could do that, but it's just not practical for a lot of people that have little children. So therefore, some of your muscle mass is going to start depleting, okay? And let's just say you're not lifting weights and you're just doing walking. Walking's great. We all need to walk every day. But in order to maintain the muscle, there needs to be a lot of things happening, right? We need to be like eating a ton of protein, which it's hard. It's all hard to do. So muscle is going to affect metabolism and in turn where you store your fat. So did you know that your muscle is a metabolically active tissue? Did you guys know that? Just putting on my Ilia makeup. I don't put makeup on every day, but I just thought I'd put it on today. It burns fats. You know, we have to have muscle in order to burn the fat. It improves our insulin sensitivity, okay? And it makes it a lot easier if we have the muscle that we can actually maintain the muscle and we can stay active and keep up with everything. So if we're losing muscle and we're not maintaining it with everyday activities, then we're definitely not going to be burning as many calories as we did. So remember, if you have more muscle mass, your body's actually going to burn more calories when you do activities. So that is the main reason why we really do need to have like a lot of muscle on our bodies. Okay, so here's pillar number 3, and that is sleep, stress, and cortisol. They're all kind of lumped into one there for you. So if you're like me, everybody's talking about cortisol belly, which I use a lot for myself. I totally agree that we get cortisol belly, guys. Our bodies are, if we're not sleeping and making sleep our job, like seriously, we have to make sleep our job, or it just increases cortisol. Like, you guys know that, right? If you get one night of bad sleep, your body's just like pumping cortisol the next day. You're stressed. All you want to do, you feel lethargic, right? But that's all related to cortisol. So over time, elevated cortisol associated with changes in appetite, cravings, things like that, will affect where you store your fat. Now, it doesn't mean that cortisol is the only reason for belly fat, but it's one piece of the puzzle that definitely deserves our attention. So we will talk more about that later, but the main thing I just wanted you to know is that your sleep, your stress, and your cortisol is directly affecting how you store your fat in your midsection now. So, man, all those declining hormones, they, like your progesterone, which is your feel-good hormone, that is the hormone that helps you feel less stress. So our stress is going up. We can't handle situations that we once were able to handle. I remember not feeling stressed about a lot of the little things that my kids did when I was, let's just say, 32. And now that I'm 42, the same things that they did then, because now I have another child that's a little on the same age, but the noise, all the stuff, it just affects me so much. I feel like I can't handle it. So that's all hormone related, guys. Okay, so I know I just blabbed a lot, probably more than I needed to for this episode, I just want you guys to get to know me a little bit too through this, because I want to be your friend. I want to help build a community here where you can feel safe and comfortable and feel like you have a friend that's kind of looking out for you, somebody that's maybe been through the process or has just done a lot of research and knows, like, okay, this is what we can do to help ourselves. This is what we're going through. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what we can do. So what can we actively do right now to help ourselves? So there are 3 very practical steps that you can do, that I'm trying to do. Step number 1 is protein, focusing on protein. Protein, I know it's the same thing with sleep. It's like your job during the day to get enough protein. And some women think, oh, if I just have like 2 eggs, or if I just have like a little bit of yogurt, that's fine. No, I want you guys to focus for each meal that you eat, making sure that you have your at least 3 meals a day, having like between 35 to 50 grams of protein, depending on your weight, per meal. Just aim for that. So stack your proteins. Like for breakfast right now, I have been doing Greek yogurt with some berries on top, 2 to 3 eggs, and then I do a matcha latte that has about 15 grams of protein. So total, I'm trying to get about 45 grams of protein with that one meal. It's easier to get protein if you just stack like simple things like eggs, yogurt, protein scoops, right? For lunch, you know, maybe it's a can of sardines with something else that you're having. Maybe you're having some lettuce wraps with turkey, maybe a chicken breast, or chicken salad's one of my favorites. Don't be afraid of the carbs. We'll talk more about that later. Don't let people tell you you can't have carbs. Yes, you can have carbs. You need carbs for your cortisol to help with stress, but just don't go crazy. Just have a few crackers with your chicken salad. Just have 1 slice of sourdough bread during the day, not 3 slices, okay? Or a sandwich that has a couple slices. Just go for a little bit of moderation with the carbs, but focus on the protein. Practical step number 2 is your sleep. So like I said earlier, make sleep your job, make it a huge priority in your life. I used to be one of those people that loved staying up late every night, not late, but like, 11, something like that, watching a movie with my spouse. These days, we don't do that. I am like in my bed. If the kids are still screaming at, 9:30 at night, I'm like losing it, Maybe you're like me, and I just have to be in my bed. I gotta be reading a book, listening to, I love like the Abide app or whatever. I make sure to use my magnesium at night on my feet. Any sort of rituals that you can include to make it a better experience going to sleep. I love using essential oils. I have my like calm essential oils. I take ashwagandha too at night. That really helps with sleep and helps with stress. Make sure you're in bed by 10 o'clock. Okay, no exceptions. Don't stay up late and watch the movie. You're not gonna feel good the next day. Sleep is like a huge priority because during sleep, your body heals, your metabolism is preserved in that way because the next day you won't be so stressed, which will, spike cortisol and stress hormones. So it's all a big connected thing, but just get enough sleep. Practical step number 3 is building muscle. We're going to talk about this more on another episode. Building muscle is so important, and I'm really trying to focus on that this year. I just got my YMCA membership a few weeks ago. Before that, I was trying to do what I could here, just on my mat and just like little weights that I had at the house, but it just wasn't enough. I really want to challenge myself, and I want to challenge you guys. Go get a gym membership or get some heavy free weights, and I want you to start lifting heavy. Now, you're gonna have to build up to that if you're not at that place yet. And I'm not saying I'm crazy with the heavy, but the machines I like to do right now, I try to do 50 pounds for a lot of the arm exercises. I even try to do like, I don't know, it's like almost 100 for like leg presses, and I have been working up to that, and I'm by no means an expert. But by heavy, what I mean is you should only be able to do 4, 5, or 6 reps, maybe 8 if you're lucky. Okay? You shouldn't be able to do much. It should be like minimal, where you're barely able to, you know, put those weights up. And that is what's considered heavy for you. So everybody's got their different number. I mean, just, you got to start somewhere, because earlier this year, I was just like 12 pounds for my arms. So for free weights are going to be different. But if you do those machines at the Y or whatever health club you have, it's going to help you so much. Okay guys, so if you forget everything I told you today, the one thing I want you to remember about stubborn belly fat is that you need to make muscle. You need to maintain muscle. Don't worry about your diet. If you can't do the protein thing, if you can't sleep, like just say like nothing, you couldn't do anything except one thing, then just work on building muscle. If you don't have a gym membership, do what you can at home. Do as heavy of weight-bearing exercises as you can, and don't just go once a week. I would do 3, 4, or 5 days a week of heavy lifting to build muscle. And it doesn't have to be a 30-minute or an hour-long session. If it's a 5-minute or 10-minute session, that is going to be more effective for your body. Just the consistency is going to be more effective for your body than anything else. So it's not going to make you bulky. Don't worry, ladies, you're still going to look beautiful and feminine, but you need to build muscle. So friends, if this video encouraged you today, I would just so appreciate it if you could subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to grow this channel. I want to reach a lot more women just like you, just like me, that are going through this stage of life, perimenopause, and they would love just some holistic encouragement of what to do, and something from a faith-filled perspective as well. So hit the subscribe button at the bottom. I would so appreciate it, or share it with a friend. Also, if you're looking for some just free and easy resources to get started on your perimenopause holistic journey, I would love you to check out in the description. I will have a link to, I've actually created a free 7-day meal plan. It's a high protein meal plan for women going through perimenopause, and it has like everything meal plan. It's a super yummy, lots of like yummy bowls, and focusing on trying to get that 35 to 50 grams of protein per meal, but it just makes it really easy so you don't have to think about it. It's also got a grocery list and like a pantry list and all sorts of things. So grab that for free down in the description. I think that's really gonna help you get like jump start on things and make it a little bit easier and a lot less overwhelming. Also guys, if you want to go even deeper into this whole process, more than just what I share on these videos, I have a book that just came out this year that I wrote, and it took me about 3 years of research and living through the journey of perimenopause to really understand what was helping my body work through this season. And I'm gonna have that, it's on Amazon, but I'm gonna link it in the description as well. And I appreciate you checking that out. If you're needing some extra support and resources, it is filled with scripture as well to encourage you. If you're encouraged by this video today, please give it a thumbs up in the bottom. And I really appreciate you guys being here with me today.